Hey there, and welcome to the latest edition of the SME Soup podcast, brought to you by RAKBANK Business. My name's Richard Dean. I am your host, and today we've got a couple of people with us in the podcast studio. First of all, our guest is an expert on cybersecurity. He is Amir Kolahzadeh. He's the founder and CEO of ITSEC based in the UAE. Amir, good to see you. Thanks very much for being with us.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
And also joining me on the pod today to help interrogate Amir to make sure he answers the questions that really matter to small businesses here in the UAE. We've got Tom Baxendale, Head of Digital for Business Banking at RAKBANK. Tom, good to have you with us.
Pleasure.
Right then, let's jump straight into it. Amir, I was looking at your notes before we met today, and you start with this. Cybercrime is on the rise with AI playing a significant role. What does that mean for small businesses in the UAE?
Fantastic question. Previously, before this couple of years, before the AI was, so you got people writing emails. I'm going to give you just a very simple example. The phishing emails that you used to get, right? From RAKBANK, from Emirates MBD, for any other banks that you get. They were full of mistakes, grammars, spelling. The tone was not right. Us as expert, we could spot it on. And I looked at it and said, that's a phishing email, don't click on it. Today, I have a hard time to tell if that's a real email or not, unless I actually sit up behind my computer, open the link in a safe browser to see if it's going to RAKBANK or not. So AI has given the cyber criminals the tools that they can refine and tune their, even the tone, the way RAKBANK writes an email and Emirates MBD writes an email is completely different. They can actually find that tone and write it in that exact tone. So that is scary. That gives the cyber criminals the tools that they didn't have before. Culture, language, all played before, because most cyber criminals obviously are not coming from English-based countries. So they always struggled with the English language. Today, AI has taken away that factor and has given them definitely a score on that. But on the other side, it has given us, the cybersecurity experts, the actual power, the tools to actually better our human errors that we see before. But definitely at the moment, the AI is playing on their side than ours. So that is why we see the sophistication of the attacks much more bigger and the rise of the attacks faster, because they can come up with better methods to attack faster.
Okay, so how does this impact small businesses? And maybe we should start even with a definition in your world, because you serve the mom and pops up through to the enterprise, you know, the Mag 7 companies and governments. How do you define small businesses, and how does this relate to them specifically?
Right. In our world, anything that below 10,000 employee is a SME. It's a small business. And then if you want to get the E out of it and just look at the small businesses, anything under 5,000 employees is a small business, right? In our world, in the cybersecurity world. Because over that, below that number, whether you have 10 employees or 5,000 employees, the same services, the same processes, the same technology has to be deployed to protect you. Either you don't have it or you have to do it all. So it's really black and white, and that's how we define it.
Right, going to bring in Tom Baxendale now. Tom, from a RAKBANK perspective, from a digital banking perspective, what are some of the issues you're looking at?
So it's not just the number of threats that are now occurring; it's the types of threats that we're seeing.
Right.
You mentioned phishing emails, but there's also a number of different types of vulnerability that are open to small businesses.
Correct.
You talk to us a bit more about the types of threats that they might see.
Sure, definitely. One, obviously, the phishing email is a starter, is the hook. The most sophisticated one is actually the social engineering that we were actually talking about right before the podcast. Social engineering is one of the most sophisticated and dangerous attacks on small businesses. With AI, I can actually write a script that I didn't have before. I can actually do search, and AI can come up with a script. I can make a call to Microsoft to find out how they answer the phone, or when they call me, what that script is, and plug it in. I can have the AI on voice record and call Microsoft and record that and tell AI to come up with different scripts. That's scary right there. The other methods, obviously, the whole, hey, guy in the garage trying to access your PC, it's still there, but it's probably 10% of the attacks. 90% of the attacks today concentrate around social engineering. Hello, I'm calling from Dubai police. That's it.
That's 90% of it.
That's 90% of the attacks are around social engineering, because I can't say 100%, but majority of companies, majority of people have learned to secure their devices. Okay, and if you haven't today, you deserve to get hacked. I'm sorry, I say that as an expert, because I mean the awareness is there, right? So as a company, even the small company have learned to put some kind of an antivirus, some type of a protection there, right? And it is now difficult. Even major telecoms are putting measures in to prevent attacks remotely, right? In order to attack a CEO of a company, all I got to do is get to the secretary and get her to give me remote access to her PC, because 90% of the CEOs, even me, I guilty. As my secretary knows all my passwords, and guess what? She probably saves them on the note on her computer.
Does that still happen?
It happens with me, and I got to scream at her every time. So I buy this expensive password protector, encryptor, and we put in there, and I find a note on her PC with my password again. It happens, even in my company.
So would it be wrong to say then that a main way that you can try and reduce the amount of risk is education?
There you go.
So there's the technical side. I need my gateways secured. I need technology to protect me there. But then social engineering is on the rise over here. I need to educate my people.
There you go.
As a small business, what things can I do to educate my own staff and people that work?
Our logo is a triangle. It stands for processes, people, and technology. That's how you protect an enterprise or yourself or home. Today, one of the things that, obviously this doesn't fall into the SMEs, but we have actually come up with a package around the high net worth individuals that are coming to Dubai. They are under attack. You have no idea how bad. I mean, they are being spear phishing. Do you know that terminology?
I've heard it, but go on, give us the elevator pitch on spear
Phishing
phishing.
is when I come after the entire ARN network, right? And the TCOM and Dubai, hoping something comes in my net and I pull it up, right? Spear phishing, when I'm coming after Richard Dean, whatever. You specifically particularly take a person and you write the scripts and come up with a method to attack that person. That could happen to a business. ARN, RAKBANK, we usually, that's hard for the financial gain cyber criminals. That's mostly a political gain or something like that. But definitely, going back, cyber awareness education is on the top of the list.
And this is something that we do particularly, and we're very proud of doing at RAKBANK. We're very proactive in communicating to our customers these types of threats. I think a couple went out this week, as a matter of fact. And we're the only bank in the UAE that sends these communications out in 6 different languages. So we leave no stone unturned in terms of educating our customers and saying these threats are on the rise.
That's
Please
beautiful.
be aware.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's the right thing to do. But unfortunately, I see one big problem. And this is something that we try to, haven't found a solution, but we really try. I grew up in San Diego, California, LA, San Francisco, US, London. What do we do there? When we go there, when I go back home, I wear my jacket like this. I make sure my wallet is not in my back pocket. It's somewhere hidden. But what do we do?
You don't wear that watch, do you?
Yeah, you can't wear that watch. Seriously. You got to roll up your windows at the spot, a stoplight, and you got to be looking like this so you don't get hijacked. It's because of the environment we live in. Because the UAE provides us with amazing security. I have seen that us as people inherently take that security offline and take it online. Because I think that, if I leave my wallet on the restaurant, on the top of the gas pump, which I've done with 100,000 in cash, I can go back 3 days later and they give it back to me. I get more relaxed online as well. That's why UAE has this problem. It's the psychology of me. I'm secure in my home. I'm secure in the street. I get more relaxed. I pay less attention to communications from the bank, right? Or the cybersecurity my company bought me from ITSEC, and they made me take it, and they want to give me a certificate, which again, I don't pay attention to. I see that in Europe or in US, the cybersecurity awareness takes better effect because people are just on the defense from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and maybe possibly in their homes. We're not. We're not playing defensive here at all in our physical lives outside. I mean, this is the best country to live in. I mean, we all know that. That's why we're all here. And I feel, talking to so many people in 20 years doing this out here, that mentality, that feeling of comfort and safety, it just moves on to your behavior online. And that's something that I think us as a community got to come together and try to convey that, listen, just because you're physically safe here and you don't have the threats that you have in Europe or the States or any other countries or all other countries, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're safe online.